Hi there and welcome to SnailTV. Today on our agenda is the British drama of 2016, Lady Macbeth. The film begins with the moment of the song of the girl in the wedding dress and the rest of the employees. Upon returning home, her maid helps her change clothes, asking her a few questions. After she leaves, the husband of a young girl comes into the room. A short dialogue is conducted in which the man asks her to undress and go to bed himself. The girl does not get enough sleep, so during the evening feast she starts to switch off sitting on a chair, then gets up and leaves, heading to the bedroom. By Boris' order, the maid keeps a close eye on the girl so that she does not fall asleep before her husband arrives. The next morning, her husband leaves, leaving the girl alone. In the lack of fresh air, she goes into the field, enjoying what is happening around. One day, while resting on the bed, she heard screams. At the scene of what was happening, the servants of the household were mocking the maid. At her request, they released her, threatening that she would watch them. After meeting with Anna, she asks the name of one of the workers. This worker was Sebastian. The next morning, as if nothing had happened, she goes for a walk and not far from her she sees Sebastian with a dog. He shouts after her, but she doesn't let on that she hears him. Upon returning home, a strong wind rises, thunder can be heard in the distance. In the evening, in the bathroom, the maid pours boiling water over Catherine and rubs her back hard, worrying that she will get sick. To which the girl boldly pushes her away, saying a few words about her actions. One night, there is a knock in Mrs. Lester's bedroom, and she sees Sebastian outside the door, who declares that he is terribly bored. By force, he still enters the room, calling the girl by name. A passion breaks out between Catherine and Sebastian, which does not go unnoticed by her maid Anna and the rest of the servants. During her ordinary walk, Anna meets Sebastian, warning him about the possible consequences of meetings with the hostess of the house, receiving only a threat in response. After some time, Catherine's father-in-law returns, asking if there is any news from her husband. Before dinner, Catherine gets drunk with wine, drinking the last bottle of Fleury. When Anna is forced to tell the owner that he is not there, he suspects her of stealing and humiliates her. Not wanting to give up Catherine, she dutifully accepts all the humiliation. The next morning Boris shows up at the workers, beats Sebastian with a cane and orders him to be locked up. Catherine rushes around the house in search of her lover, but eventually realizes who is behind his capture. The girl orders her father-in-law to let Sebastian go, but he slaps her in the face and urges her to think about how she performs a woman's duty. She is still not pregnant with his son. The next day, during the morning breakfast, Catherine again demands to let Sebastian go. Boris in a rage breaks a glass against the wall and in anger goes into another room to finish his breakfast. Catherine locks him in the room by placing a chair under the door handle and forbids Anna to unlock it, continuing to calmly enjoy breakfast. Boris is trying to get out by hitting the door hard, but gradually the blows weaken and end after a while. The girl orders the maid to run to the village for a doctor to free Sebastian during her absence. From the dialogues it becomes clear that Boris has died, and his son is not going to return home for the funeral, which means that Catherine remains the rightful mistress of the house. Now they can meet each other openly. After giving Sebastian her ex-husband's clothes, she calls him the owner of the house. After the funeral, Anna loses her voice, blaming herself for Boris' death. Catherine tells her that another maid will now cook and bring food, thus accusing her of killing her father-in-law with mushrooms, which she collects every day in the forest. The cook tries to help Anna so that she does not blame herself for this, since the old man was old and weak. In the next scene we see Sebastian and Catherine lying in nature. The girl asks leading questions about love, to which the guy answers only positively. Mrs. abruptly wakes up in the night. In the window, she sees someone else's horse on a leash and realizes that her husband has returned. She hides Sebastian in another room and prepares for the arrival of her husband. Turning on the light and making the bed, she waits with panic for the arrival. Alexander enters the room, asking why the girl is still awake. Catherine tries to lie, saying that her sleep has become very sensitive after Boris's death. After walking around the room, Alexander finds a belt forgotten by Sebastian. Catherine once again tries to lie that she allegedly found him in the fields, but her husband does not believe her and notices a couple more things that clearly hint at Catherine's connection with another man. After a short dialogue, the girl offers her husband to drink tea, without waiting for an answer, abruptly leaves the room. After returning, she sits down opposite the man. Alexander says that rumors about Catherine have spread all over England, and they disgrace not only her name, but also the name of his family. Also informing that her lover will be thrown out of his yard, and he intends to lock her in the house with a prayer book in his hands. In response, Mrs. takes Sebastian out of the next room and defiantly begins to make love to him in front of her husband. Enraged, Alexander attacks the lovers and beats up Sebastian. During a small fight, Catherine hits her husband with a fireplace poker. Alexander falls from the blow, but Catherine does not stop there, starting to finish him off with strong blows to the head, deliberately trying to kill him. After that, the lovers head to the forest. Alexander's body was buried by Sebastian, and Catherine was forced to kill the horse by shooting it with a gun, sprinkling the body with earth a little. With all this, they tried to simulate an attack. Returning home in the morning, neither Catherine nor Sebastian can fall asleep. Sebastian can't forget the murder and says he can't live with it. Catherine tells him to forget all this, as she did, for the sake of the common good. A woman named Agnes arrives at Catherine's house and declares that her little grandson Teddy is the pupil and heir of Alexander, missing, and presents documents certified by him personally. Teddy tells Catherine that he thinks she is the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. Teddy and Agnes move into the house, evicting Catherine from her room. In the morning, the boy asks permission to go for a walk with Mrs. They went out into the field together and sat on the grass enjoying nature. At his young age, Teddy is very curious. He asked questions about birds in the sky, and also told Catherine that he missed his mother. Upon returning to the house after a walk, the girl longs to meet Sebastian, but he refuses to see her, arguing that he is afraid of revealing their relationship. Catherine constantly sees Teddy in love with her. She discovers that she is pregnant by Sebastian. Wanting to tell him this news, Catherine waves Teddy away, pushing him away in every possible way, which upset the boy very much. On the same day, the guy ran away from home. Having discovered the boy's disappearance, all the servants in the house go in search of him. Sebastian finds him, cold and weak, and wants to throw the boy into the waterfall, but he can't bring himself, and he brings Teddy home. The boy was terribly cold. Sebastian unknowingly starts ordering the servants, which infuriates Agnes and she drives the worker out of the house. Sebastian understands the truthfulness of these words and hurriedly begins to pack up to leave. Catherine dissuades him, persuading Agnes to take a nap after a sleepless night over a sick boy. She lets Sebastian into the room, and together they strangle Teddy. The next day, Catherine tells her version of events to the doctor, who saw bruises on the boy's body. She fell asleep for a couple of minutes, and when she woke up, Teddy was already dead. After a while, an investigator arrives. Catherine repeats this version to him, but Sebastian suddenly bursts into the room and confesses to the murder of Teddy, Alexander and Boris, blaming Catherine for everything. She strangled and persecuted me. She's like a disease. She, disappointed in her beloved, tells the investigator that Sebastian is lying. In response, Catherine accuses the man and Anna of murdering their relatives, arguing that it is Anna who collects mushrooms in the morning, and on the eve of her father-in-law's death, Sebastian was beaten by Boris, and Catherine herself spent a lot of time with Teddy and could not kill him, because the boy was like her own. Agnes silently supports her. Anna, knowing that Catherine is pregnant, feels sorry for her and silently agrees with the arguments. Sebastian and Anna are being taken to prison, and Mrs. is left alone, the rightful owner of an empty house. The finale turned out to be very strange and interesting. There were many victims, but that's what makes our retelling today so cool. It was the British drama, Lady Macbeth, of 2016. Put likes and subscribe to our channel, dear friends. Wait for us with a new retelling on SnailTV.